Hi everyone, it is Marie here from Skeins, and yes, I am coming to you twice in 1 week. I know, incredibly organised of me actually, but there is a very, very good reason for that. And the first reason is we got everything. I thought I was all organised, got all colours loaded up for you on Monday, only to find out that we'd left 2 out. And it's because they hadn't quite come through to the Skeins warehouse. They were still sitting and balling, which was absolutely tragic because one of the colours that are in those 2 is my favourite colour I can't believe I missed it out, of the whole new range. So I thought if you've already been online today and I've posted it on about half an hour ago on Instagram and on our main page, we've got 2 colours and they are this lovely, beautiful icy baby blue. Look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? Absolutely gorgeous. And we've done this to partner up with the Fleur to have for those, you know, lovely traditional baby nuts. And this guy is called George, named after a certain young prince. And it's absolutely lovely. So that is in store and online now. And this one, I can't believe I did it. I cannot believe. Hi, Gail. I can't believe I left this one out. This one is called Florence. Isn't that gorgeous? Absolutely gorgeous. That is the deepest, richest jewel, sort of tealy mallard. It is absolutely stunning. And that is called Florence. It is online now. And of course, as soon as I saw this, look at that. That is Sprout, the current orb Sprout, which I will confess the image on the website is nothing short of awful that I have. I really should rephotograph it. It is a fiendishly difficult colour to photograph this, and it's because it is a very yellow green, and greens are, if you have done photography, greens and reds are the 2 banes of my life. They're very, very difficult things to get right from a colour balancing point of view. But you put those 2 together, are these not a match made in heaven? Absolute match made in heaven. I mean, imagine them, and I've just still got this sitting on my desk, but if you can imagine them, you know, in a 2-tone shawl like that, where you've got, look, imagine that with the Florence in the main colour and that wee Sprout as the accent colour around the bottom. Oh, so divine. So make sure you snap these up. These are limited edition colours. However, in saying that, we're pretty certain we're going to bring this one into the range because it is just so delicious that we can't really not have it in the range all the time. We really, you know, because look, I mean, you can't separate them, can you? It's like asking someone which is your favourite child. You can't do it. So Florence, and so I'm really sorry, really sorry that I missed those out. See, look at them together. Oh, so good. And Claire actually told me to let you know that the Fleur, the pink, is nearly all gone. So if you were thinking of picking up some of that Fleur in New Orb, definitely do it. I'm almost certain we are going to bring that one back. It's so funny, the colours that we'd already pegged as the ones that are high likelihood to move over to the range next year are definitely proving to be selling really well. So do check those out. They are under Orb DK at the moment. And the other new colours, someone actually asked me the other day about, oh, you know, I've been showing some new things and they hadn't come, and I suddenly remembered one of the elements that they might have been talking about, which was this guy here, which is a silver lining, and it's a very, very dark green. Beautiful colour, a very masculine colour. And these are 2 limited edition colours in silver lining. So this one here is called Kakapo, and then this guy here is called Tuatara. Now personally I think they should have named them the other way around. They were named whilst I was away on holiday, enough said. However, they're there now. Absolutely gorgeous. play very, very nicely with the colours already in the range. So if you're wanting to do some colour work, or you're doing some striping, or you've got some bits to add up, this guy here is actually, it's not showing up on the screen as I'm holding it up. This is quite a nice jadey colour. So what this is the Ahuriri green over the Clifton Stone base. So it will tone in with greens, will tone in with Ahuriri green, it will tone in with greenstone, it will tone in with all of those others. And it's the same with this guy here, but this is over the much, much darker base. So this is greenstone over 5 Mile Bush base. So they're designed to all sort of work together. So if you're working on a project, and actually blankets would be amazing in this, where you're wanting them to all tone and work and be harmonizing, but have some quite distinct highs and lowlights in the colours. These guys would be absolutely, absolutely, absolutely fantastic. And it's been funny actually, because we've been talking, the conversation has already started here around, and it starts this time of year, about what we do moving forward for 2019. And you might think we're crazy, because that's, you know, we're only halfway through this year, we're already talking about the new season next year. But this is the time of year that we really start looking at all the yarns in our range and trying to decide what stays, what goes, what we move around, what have colours added to them. We know what is coming up, and because it takes time for things to move through the mill, and we know that we've got to produce them and get them out and do all that good stuff. And Silver Lining is one of my absolute all-time favourite yarns, and it is because I think I've discussed this on videos before. The construction, this higher angle of twist four-fold construction, I am an absolute sucker for. Totally, totally, totally love it. Wonderful stitch definition, smooth fabric, great pop on the stitches, beautiful for cables, wears really well. It's just all round fantastic. And the other thing I like about this is it's a completely 100% New Zealand grown and New Zealand made yarn. So it's both. We hunt out these rare breed small flock merinos. It's made from both coloured and white merino stock. So it is a yarn that is very near and dear to my heart. So we will be doing some more colour work, and this is the beginning of some of the new colour work that we're doing, playing around with this, which then sparked in our impromptu Thursday morning staff meetings that we have, the debate. We were talking about, you know, Silver Lining and where to go to from here. And one of the things that has been cropping up, and the girls are noticing it in the shop with walk-ins, is that a lot of people are wanting Silver Lining. They go, oh no, but we want it to be machine washable. So there are two issues around that. One issue is we've got 2 ways to make yarn machine washable. So in theory, one of the ways that we use, we could possibly add a treatment to Silver Lining to make it machine washable. And you know what, we'll trial it and we'll play around with it and see what happens. But my question is, I said to the girls as well, who's saying this? You know, is it the end users of the yarn? And they're like, no, it's a lot of people coming in wanting to knit natural baby knits or things like that for daughters or grandchildren. They go, oh no, but my daughter won't know how to wash that. She won't know how to hand wash it. It has to be machine washable because she won't know how to wash it. Now, I know that there are many of you out there right now watching this who are actually the recipients of some of these garments. And I want to know from you guys, actually, please tell me around your hand washing. Do you know how to hand wash, particularly if it is a baby garment? Are you quite happy to hand wash your knits if it was a hand washable yarn? Does it faze you that it's not a shrink treated or machine wash treated yarn? Are you a person that only ever does machine washable yarns and doesn't even entertain the thought of a hand wash yarn? And the reason I want to know your thoughts on this is because it's good for my team downstairs to know. They can say to anyone that comes in, well, actually, we talk to thousands of people, hundreds of thousands of people on our sites all the time, and they actually say to us, well, actually, no, we do know what we're doing with it, and we are quite capable of, you know, washing it ourselves. If you're a person that looks at it and goes, no, don't do hand washing, not interested, no, that's not for me, it is the easiest thing in the world to do. In fact, hand washing your knitted garment is vastly faster than machine washing your garment. I don't know how everyone else does it, but I am the queen of the 99-cent bucket. And I just have a bucket at home with tepid water in it. I use a little something in there to break the surface tension, like a Martha Gardner's wool wash, or I sometimes use the actually Eco Store. I've got a really, really nice one. Just something really to break the surface tension, to sort of break up the grubby oils and bits and pieces that are on the garment. Soak it, similar to my blocking, just I don't agitate it unless it's quite soiled. I soak it, give it just a little gentle squidge, 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 let the water go cool, and then I roll it out and then reshape it, because it gives you a chance to reblock something, reshape it, and then let it dry so fast. I also don't wash very often. And that's one of the things, I think, it's one of the things with machine washable yarns. You think, well, because it is machine washable, oh, they've worn it 2 or 3 times, I'll fire it in the machine. If you're definitely encouraged, I wash hand knits very infrequently. Even for my boys, I will, if they've got a vest, that vest is lucky if it will get washed once a season. Stuff for myself, I would wash like big garments like this. I will wash and reblock these probably once every 1 to 2 years, depending on wear, soiling, and what have you. And in fact, this one here, I'll just whip this off. And before you all get very excited about this isn't Skeins yarn, because that's me, you know, that's where somebody else's yarn. This is Crazy Zalba Ball, which I bought from the lovely Maureen Mackenzie at Vintage Pearls at Knit August Nights one year. So just to prove to you that I do actually knit from yarn I buy from my own festival. And that is, for those who probably recognise it, that is Hitchhiker by Martina Bean, which is so good for these coloured yarns. Anyway, I digress. So this guy here, which is my favourite, which is the adult version of Granny's Favourite by Georgie Nicholson. Yes, we know that I'm Georgie's biggest fangirl when it comes to patterns. But this one here, I had to get the little thing out because I woke up this morning and right down here, both sides actually, this side here and then another big splodge on this side here, dried pancake batter. I'd obviously worn this, but I was making breakfast one day for the kids and had no problem. It was dried, gave it a gentle brush off, got the wee wet cloth out for the bits that couldn't shift, and then this is a very, very fine yarn, similar to the Pamir or even but this one has got cashmere in it. It does have a tendency to pill this one a little bit, but I don't care because I love it. So got the wee buzz out, gave the, you know, a bit of a once over and off to work I went. So yeah, in terms of washing, don't wash too frequently. But anyway, I want to know how you guys handle it. I mean, do you do a mix? Do you hand wash everything exclusively, whether or not it's hand wash or machine wash? Marianne has just popped up there saying that there's lots of really good YouTube videos for hand washing, and there are. I mean, the resources are there. They are just fantastic. Yeah, and it's hard to get people to understand you can just air stuff out and it will be great. Marianne, I couldn't agree more wholeheartedly. This time of year, we have a wood burner in our house, you know, with the rack around the outside. Yeah, I often air mine out if they're getting a little bit waffly over in front of this time of year in front of the wood burner. Yeah, so I'd just love to know how you guys handle it, because from my perspective, from a product development perspective, I like to have a mix of both machine washable and non-treated or machine washable yarns, so then people have a choice. So I'll just be really intrigued to see, because Silver Lining is a yarn that, you know, we're all torn downstairs. Do we apply treatment to it? But then does it take away from its more natural feel, you know? I'd like to know what you guys think about that. So let us know. That, you know, we'd be really, really interested to know. Speakeasy. I have just so been loving the projects on Speakeasy. It's been so cool. You guys have really gotten into this month's theme, and it has been absolutely fabulous. And I thought I would just give you a little hint about theme for next month. And part of the reason for that is there may be some of you working on projects at the minute who are maybe thinking, oh, I'm not going to get this finished in, for the month. I was actually quite deliberate about the project I started, which, by the way, I've not still done a single stitch on for another week. I'm still actually crocheting away on my blanket, and it's actually making me feel quite good. And in fact, I'm looking at the homeward stretch on the blankie. I might actually complete it. Stop it. I know. Finish an item. This month, holy moly, but next month, the theme I had written down for August was, it's all about me. And when I say that, I mean you, not me, because it's all about me too, but you. I want people, especially if you're already working on them this month, and you're probably possibly still working on projects from the other month. Next month, it is all going to be about projects that you've knitted for yourself. You've actually taken, whether it be a really amazing special hank of yarn that you've had in the stash, and this is inspired through Knit August Nights, okay? So I'll just backtrack a little bit. With the Knit August Nights, for those attending Knit August Nights, every year there's a knit along that happens along in Ravelry group that is about what you're going to knit and where it can. And it is honestly, it's like a knitted fashion parade every day it can. Everybody looks seriously amazing, and they're all decked out and wearing, you know, you're wearing your work and you're feeling proud about it, and it's wonderful, absolutely wonderful. So half the time you're there, you're busy talking to people you may have never met, wanting to know what that pattern is, where they get it from, what's the yarn is, how did they do that. It's awesome. And on that RAD group, there are a couple of knit-alongs that go all the time. One is, what are you knitting to wear to Can? And the other one is, what are you knitting from stuff you have bought from Can? Which is where that guy comes in. And essentially, most people, particularly what you're wearing to Can, is something for yourself. Well, not everybody is coming in the big, wide digital world, is coming to Knit August Nights. But one way you can actually share on what's going on at Knit August Nights is to actually knit something for yourself. And I think sometimes we don't do that. And I see that so much with people posting on the Speakeasy. They're doing things that they've made for them, for other people, and for children, and for commercial reasons, or for, you know, sometimes there isn't stuff that they're knitting for themselves. And then those who do post something that they've completed for themselves, the sense of pride that they have in having completed it and done that garment and feeling really, really good about it. And I really applaud that. I love that. I spent years not knitting for myself, and if I did, it was literally hats or fingerless gloves or scarves and shawls, which is why today I am the world's crazy hat lady, because I have a million hats and I have a wardrobe full of these, and it's because I wouldn't knit for myself. And I've talked about it before, and that was because, you know, I wasn't measuring myself properly, so then my finished items weren't as I'd hoped. Now I got over that, had an epiphany moment, and mine came in the form of reading Isolde Teague's Little Red in the City. And I've mentioned this before, she has a wonderful chapter in there on sizing. And there are still also really, really great resources around sizing out there. But that, for me, was my epiphany moment several years ago. And I have been now consistently working on garments for myself, because I've got a husband who has got a wardrobe, because I've knit one for him every year or two. So he's got a garment full of jumpers that he really doesn't require anymore from me. I've got sons that have got drawers full of vests, and one that won't wear his mother's knitting because it's not cool, and the other one is kind of like, Mum, I can only wear so many. And I've got children that I knit for, but you know, there is nothing like the satisfaction of completing something for yourself. So if you're out there, and this is for next month, if you're still working on, I saw actually an Aranami shawl posted up the other day, so if you're still working on your Aranami, if you're still doing a holy moly, if you're still doing some other bits and pieces, the stuff that you're doing for yourself, that's what I want to see posted next month. So it's all about me, A-I-E, you. So that's what I want to see posted for next month. But I will talk a little bit more about that next week. Last, if not least, a couple of things happening next week. This is your last chance to get your outlaw yarns at the current pricing. Those prices will be going up next week. In fact, I'll be going into the system and changing those on Monday. So you need to make sure you get them. They're all going up by about $1 to $2 depending on what. Sorry, yes, $1 to $2 depending on what they are. So you do need to jump on and get those ordered if you've got a project planned. And the other thing, is I had like a little special anything for ages. These are the last two colours of Chatswood. Now, before you panic, Chatswood is coming back. And here's one I had prepared earlier. This is the base yarn, which is the Sheffield. So that's what Sheffield was batch 1. That's batch 2. So as you can see, it's almost the same, not quite almost the same. So this is, it's just waiting to go through the order to process through the system before more Chatswood comes out. So unfortunately, we're a bit backed up at the moment, so that might take several weeks, but it has spun now, which is great news. We are revamping some of the colours out, and 2 of them, I'm afraid, are off to Chatswood Heaven. And that's these 2, which is Kew Gardens and Manchester. I have a handful of this left. And I have, if you've already been eagle-eyed, you may have noticed that the price has dropped down to $2.95 a ball on the website. So if you want to pick up some of these before they disappear, this has been such an absolute winning yarn. Make sure you grab it because, as I said, there is literally only handfuls of both left, and then that will have us cleaned out a batch 1, and batch 2 will start creeping through in the next few months, and we will also be introducing 2 new colours into that range as well to replace these 2. So make sure you jump on and do that. Right, I've waffled along quite enough for a Thursday. I will talk to you again on Monday, but in the meantime, have a great weekend, and as I said, let me know about your machine washing. There's some comments already filtering in, so this is great because it helps me know what we're doing. So until then, talk to you next week, and hopefully I would have done a bit more on my Lizzie. I'll let you know how I get on. See you then. Bye.